Hey everybody, thanks for tuning in. I'm George Conley with Scratch Golf Tips, and today we're going to be talking about a few different methods to improve your mental game on the course. Now, all golfers are very quick to focus on the technical aspects of their swing, what they're doing with their hands, their rotation, how they move their hips, all that stuff, and that's important, but it's also very important to note that golf is a heavily mental sport, and having a great command over your mental game will benefit you very heavily. So I'm going to offer a few tips to help your mental game, which will help you stay sharp and on point throughout your round. Let's start off by talking about creating a plan and sticking to it through a round. Now, this is going to be especially important if you're playing competitive rounds, whether it be against someone else or if you're playing a qualifying tournament, club championship. It's important to enter a course, especially a course you're not totally familiar with a particular plan of attack. What I mean by this is entering a round with a hole-by-hole look at how you can play a golf course, where you can attack, where you should hold back. Now, if you haven't played a course before, there are a few different ways to get a good look at that course before you even head to it in the first place. You can use an app like 18 Birdies, and you can plug in a course that'll give you a bird's eye view of all the holes. You can also scroll your finger around, which will show you yardages to certain bunkers and hazards. Another resource that you can use is Google Earth. So once you can see the holes and you know your numbers of how far you can hit your driver, how far you hit a 3-wood, you can formulate a plan and you can find out what holes you can really be aggressive on, what holes you can not be as aggressive on, and then once you get there, just step up to the holes and know your approach before you get there. So let's say you've developed this routine and now we're on the course. One of the best things that you can do throughout a round to fall into a routine is create a routine. And in this particular example, let's talk about a pre-shot routine. Now, pre-shot routines are so integral to finding a rhythm and a routine throughout a round. It's something you do before every shot, and then once you step into that shot, you begin your routine, everything becomes second nature, and you gain mental confidence in doing so. Now, there's a lot that goes into developing a pre-shot routine. I'll leave a link to the video that we made on how to develop your own pre-shot routine up above, so you can click that and watch it if you want to learn on how to develop an effective pre-shot routine. But if that is in place, and when it's in place, it's going to be of huge benefit for your comfort throughout a round. Now let's talk about leaving bad holes behind. There will always be bad holes, but the good news is once that ball is in the hole, whether you made a bad bogey or a good triple bogey, once that ball is in the hole, that hole is done. So let's talk about how to move on from it. Now, first things first, I don't think you should move on from everything. If the reason you made a triple bogey is because you sliced your drive right, hazard, and then your iron shot, you sliced right into a bunker and it plugged, you should note that, hey, I was put in this position because I missed right twice. Now, if you step up to another hole and there's water all along the right, think back to that shot, don't dwell on it, but recognize, hey, I missed right, maybe I should club down, maybe I should open up the stance and go a little bit left and just try and play that power fade or slice, but just note it, and then you can use it to improve and prevent yourself from getting in further trouble. In terms of forgetting what happened, I've spoken to a few PGA Tour players who have noted that they have what is called a mental reset on the course. I spoke to one player in particular who used to take a Sharpie and put a dot on his glove, on his golf glove. He would just draw a dot on there. And what that would do is, after he'd hit a bad hole, he would put his glove on the next hole, he'd see the dot, and he would push it. And that was his mental reset. Now, this might sound silly, but it's actually pretty important. Some other players will take off their hat, rub their hands through their hair. There's a bunch of these little ticks that kind of get you in a different state of consciousness, and they'll get you out of the last hole and focused on the new one. Personally, when I have a bad hole, I usually wear sunglasses when I golf, so I'll take my sunglasses off, and then I'll just touch my nose a few times and close my eyes and reset. And when I open my eyes, I'm on the new hole, and now I'm thinking about, okay, let's figure out how to attack this hole. And then you can revert back to the plan of attack that you made earlier. Now, finally, one of the best mental tips that I can think of is focusing on the correct outcome. And let me elaborate on what this really means. The most prime example here is if you're looking at a par 3, say it's 175 yards and there's water all along the right. The high majority of golfers will see that water on the right and think, okay, let's not hit that water in the right, which is a good observation, very good. You do not want to hit the ball in the water to the right, but they'll continue to think, all right, can't miss right, and then they'll look at it, they'll say, okay, there it is, it's right. They'll think of a ball flight where it goes in, and then they step over the ball thinking, I can't go right, I can't go right. That's not what you want to do. Acknowledge it, say, okay, I can't go right. Now think, here's what I'm gonna do. Maybe I'm gonna play a little right to left fade, I'm gonna land it in the middle of the green just to be safe. That's the image you should have in your mind when you're starting your pre-shot routine. And if that's the correct image of your mind, if the image is a positive affirmation of what you're gonna hit, once you step into that pre-shot routine, you have a couple seconds to get comfortable, and then you swing through the ball, you'll be amazed at how effective it is. So those are just a few general tips on how to improve your mental game. It comes with time, understanding your emotions, understanding what emotions evoke what kind of playing style, but entering with some kind of a plan of attack for a course, developing that pre-shot routine, then you can leave holes behind with some kind of mental trigger and focusing on the correct outcomes. Those are 4 excellent tips that'll help you, get on your way with better mental game, which will affect the whole game positively. Thank you very much for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please feel free to like the video. It helps this video get shown to more golfers who are looking to improve, and subscribe to the channel if you'd like to see more of our content. If you like the apparel that I wear in these videos, I wear John Morgan Sportswear. They are a proud partner of Scratch Golf Tips. And if you want to get some John Morgan Sportswear to beef up your golf closet for this summer season, you can go to the link in the description and use code SGT2021 at checkout, and that'll actually get you 20% off your order. Thank you very much for watching, everybody. Play well, and take care.